ain't no time than right now to get it done against this Buffalo Bills. Look, it's like game coming up. I was like, I'm always gonna be rooting for the Dolphins, but I will not act like I feel like the Dolphins need to win here versus Buffalo. Buffalo won the division 4 years in a row. I was like, we had a head start last year, and they got us at the end of the game. We always seem to. I was like, we always seem to sort of get one at the beginning. I mean, it hadn't been much. It's only been like 2 or 3 times that we won, but right now this is the best time just because one, I was like, we always will be in the game. We always have a chance because our offense can be explosive, even though Buffalo sort of knows how to negate us at times. But it's like they're division opponents; they should be able to. But it's more so that I'm like, okay. I was like, the offense for Buffalo, their receivers, hey. I was like, they're still. I was like, I mean, yeah, they look good in that second half versus the Cardinals, but it took them a minute. You know, I was like, they got a rookie wide receiver in there. Like, the other ones aren't really spectacular. There's a reason why they're like second, third options. But I was like, what I'm afraid of is that the thing I've seen from Jacksonville is the fact that they can just run the ball. They can just. I was like, Trevor Lawrence wasn't over here like crushing us with the pass game, but he was passing on us. And I was like, Josh Allen, who's a better quarterback, and I think also does have better weapons with 2 tight ends. And I was like, I think Coleman, I was like, he looked pretty good as a big body receiver, and Shakir being all shifty and stuff like that. Now, I will say that I do also think that the weakness for Buffalo is their DB, so I think that's plays right into our hand. I was like, whereas up front, I was like, I think they're pretty good up front to where it'll be interesting to see how our line matches up against theirs. But yeah, I'm more concerned about the fact that whether it's Josh Allen or James Cook running the ball, I was like, they got a pretty decent line. I was like, like I said, they got 2 tight ends that will sit there and block, but also are receiving threats. I was like, our linebackers aren't like big either in a way to like necessarily like shut them down or stop them. But I was like, man, not to compete, but they got some big ass tight ends. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yeah, but also, I was like, and with it being in Miami, it's kind of like this is the best shot also to get. I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be crazy hot like how it was last game, but I was like, this is the time we're going to get them when it's warm, where we can run. I mean, they can run too. So I was like, it's always funny because I was like, it's kind of an advantage, but it's not because it's like it's an advantage because it's like it's so hot in Miami. How would everybody deal? And I was like, yeah, but and I was like, they train in it, so it's like, yeah, we do get the endurance type of benefit, but at the same time, I was like, whereas like with the cold, and I understand that as well too, of like that difference of everything. I was like, yeah, but everybody's still going to be run. It's not like, you know, the ground is going to necessarily stop that person from being fast or nothing like that. I was like, I don't know. Maybe sometimes, maybe I'm not looking into it. Maybe I was like, look, I was like, I can understand the difference of conditions or whatever. But I was like, both of them was tired. It ain't like Miami was over here like, how was that feeling? And Buffalo was like, whew, I'd rather go back where it's cold. Like, I don't know. So that's always weird for me in that regard. So, yeah. So it's a thing of because it's concern. I do think that I will say I do think that a victory will come out for the Dolphins. I was like, but I don't think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a game where it's gonna be like, oh, thank God that pass did not get completed. I think it's gonna be something like that. Cause I was like, we were very fortunate to beat the Jacksonville with their. I was like, how they just turned the ball over and just made stupid errors at the end of the game. Otherwise, that game could have looked real nasty. It would have been 24-7, I believe, at that time. And I was like, I was like, with so much time left, I was like, there would have been no telling. And we sort of got bailed out. But I also do think that, hey, I will give everybody, like how I gave everybody the benefit of the doubt week 1 being rusty, that, hey, maybe the whole passing game would have looked a lot differently, a lot better. I was like, maybe it might be more crisp this week or whatever. But also, we ain't got both our running backs. And I was like, us running the ball is always kind of tricky. I was like, yeah, we could hit the outside, but I was like, sometimes inside it, I was like, it depends or whatever like that. Sometimes it look great. We're like, oh my god, 50-yard run, and then sometimes it just does. Which I mean, going up the middle is always with that where it's like you just got to stick committed. But I was like, we don't have enough running backs here to at least do the scheme and whatnot. And also, after Waddle and Tyreek, it's also really hard to say who's going to step up. I mean, there could be somebody to step up, and maybe after the game, we'll see if that person gets talked about in a certain type of way. Because I was like, I do think he is needed, and I was like, Odell Beckham. But I was like, I do think he's needed. And I also think that he's also somebody where I can see, like, the Ravens sort of missing him a bit in the game. But it's also, like, at the same time, it's really sometimes it's just kind of just like, I was like, could we have gotten 2 receivers for that same amount or whatever? Should we have tried to bring back Mapletron? I can't remember his name. I was like, gotta tell you how much importance he is. I was like, Cedric Wilson would have been great to come back. Just just being a more dynamic. I was like, look, the 49ers ain't out here just being like, let people go. And they run like a similar thing. But anyway, yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna go with 24-21 kind of game for the Dolphins. I was like, I gotta root and tell you they're gonna get the win, even though my confidence is low right now. But anyway, we'll see how the game goes. Until then, peace. I'm out.